K-Rock Middlebreak Rock Reviews Marmy Rock Show. I am here with the very patient Reid Henry. This is actually take two of our interviews, so a little malfunction on the first one. So thanks for your patience, man. Thanks for being back on the Marmy Rock Show.
Thanks so much for having me.
So, hey, man, you've had two singles out, two that were both on our Golden Dozen, and the album Destroy and Rebuild is out right now. So, is the title of the album, Destroy and Rebuild, any way reflective of the band's history and formation?
Absolutely, man. It's a record about rebirth. Although, moreover, maybe that's just like a theme that ties it together. I feel like it's a record about the notion that all change is a form of destruction, or rather that destruction is a necessary part of change, and just kind of extrapolates on that and riffs on that.
So, obviously people are going to remember you from My Darkest Days, and let people know a little bit about what the influence of that band and the formation of this band.
Well, myself and our bass player Brendan McMillan were in the rock band My Darkest Days. Brennan was in it for a really long time. I joined in 2009, but I met the guys in like 2007 and looked up to them a lot for a long time, and always grew up really admiring 3 Days Grace. So when I got to meet them, it was like, and they were so close to 3 Days Grace, I was like, whoa, and they were the big band in the jam space that I moved out to when I just turned 19 when I moved out, and was living next to them. So we'd meet and kind of play Halo, and I hang out together, and I got to learn from them, and that helped me develop as a musician a lot.
It's kind of crazy. We meet and play Halo, and we're forming a rock band. Like, when I think about it,
sure. Well, no,
easy.
They worked extremely hard. It's just we could only jam until midnight every night, so they would jam relentlessly. But my band at the time, I was maybe 19. My guys were a little younger, and they didn't have the commitment that maybe, or the will to, that I did, and so I'd play with a drum machine basically, and they would kind of come in and criticize my songs and make fun of my voice or whatever, and then we'd hang out, and because I was 6 years younger than them, so but they helped me cut my teeth, and those guys jammed so hard. They worked 8 hours a day.
So, My Darkest Days enjoyed so much national success. Does it make it a little easier, forming a new band and exposing yourself to the world, so to speak?
It's been extremely helpful, and we're extremely grateful for all of the My Darkest Days fans out there that have helped support us and helped us find an audience right from the start. So that's been a privilege, and we were extremely grateful for that.
So the record itself already has two singles out, I'll point out again, both of which made our top 12. And is there a debate and discussion about which one will come out next? How's that process work?
It's like we sit around and we definitely talk about it and stuff, and I have ideas on songs that I think would be strong singles, but at the end of the day, that's not really our decision to make, because we're not the ones that work the song at radio. So we leave it to the professionals, we leave it to the radio team to pick that stuff.
So, I've talked so many times to other bands that come from your little region of the world that is this hotbed of music. Do you guys have a bigger following in Canada or the United States?
No, we played our first show in New York State, actually. We just kind of came out of nowhere and appeared on the internet, and then played our first show in the United States. So we actually don't have any... Or, I hope we have fans back home, but we have never played a show yet, so I cannot personally verify that.
That'd be kind of cool when you get to finally do it, to see who comes out, I'm sure.
We play next week, I think. We play on Thursday and Friday in Canada, so that'll be good. Hometown show.
So you're out on a good run right now. I know you're playing with a lot of cool bands, and you're out with Another Lost Year right now. I know it's the last night with those guys. So tell us a little bit about the tour you've been on and where you're heading.
It's been incredible. We started off in January just headlining some shows, and we started off with Another Lost Year at the end of January and went from then till now. So it's been relentless. We did 10 shows straight, 5 nights, 6 nights a week, every week. It's been nuts. It's been a pleasure. We got to do the first month with a band also with us called Lullwater.
Yeah.
That we're out. We love those guys. And some other shows along the way with Bubba Flex. We played with them, and that was really cool. And so it's been definitely a privilege to just kind of come out of the gates up here and then just do a whole national tour right away. So we've already completed our first national tour, which is pretty cool.
From the internet, it looks like you and the Another Lost Years guys have bonded pretty well.
Yeah, they're great. We love those guys. Clinton, makes a point of incorporating us into their set, as you'll see. It's fun, and I go up and sing more on the inside with them every night, which has been a lot of fun.
Are you worried at all that it's April Fool's Day? I mean, anything can happen? Any shenanigans up there?
There will be plenty of shenanigans this evening. That is to be certain. It's April Fool's, and it's the last day of the tour. This is going to be the prank night of all prank nights.
You got a good crowd in there now.
Oh, yeah.
How's it different for you stepping out from behind the keyboard and the guitars to being the front man?
I'm an introvert, so it's kind of weird. I mean, like it was at first. Now it's just kind of like I do my thing, and I like it. And I always like, being in front of crowds. It is a different thing than, going into a coffee shop, standing on a table and singing a song, for example. But yeah, I'm more acclimated to sitting with a laptop and a guitar and just kind of doing my thing. But you have to be able to put on a different hat and go out and do the thing and sing the songs in a way that is engaging and that people want to see. So I've been a music fan my whole life, and also, like I said before, having the advantage of the best seat in the house next to Matt Walsh for a couple of years was pretty helpful in being able to learn how to front a band, and looking up to all those bands and watching all those bands that we got to tour with that were world class, like Papa Roach, Nickelback, and Hinder, and Buck Cherry. And
I look back at that, I saw you with so many amazing bands. It had to be fantastic. Hey, you did something pretty cool about a month ago. I watched it today. A performance from your hotel room live. So tell folks about that.
So we do a segment on our live stream on our Facebook called Van Jams, and we try and make a point of going live on all our socials as often as we can, and just kind of just being real. Like I watch some bands doing them, and I find it really contrived and boring, and it's not, not real. It's just like you might as well just videotape something at that point, because it's just so set up. And so we just try to make it, have fun with it and be awkward and whatever. And that's why we just videotape ourselves. We literally live stream from the dinner table often. It's probably bad dinner manners. And I definitely had the guys had to get used to it at first. But now we kind of, every time we go to a Mexican restaurant, we live stream it, and it's great. As you mentioned, we often videotape, or rather do live streams of acoustic performances. So that began as just kind of a way to reach out to My Darkest Days fans through our page, because myself and Brendan, along with Matt and Dougie, of course, all admin the My Darkest Days page. So we use that to our advantage as best we can, and that's again, super grateful of Matt and Dougie for letting us do that, and being supportive of this band as well. If you haven't checked out Cold Creek County, that's Dougie Oliver from My Darkest Days' country band. They're doing great things. They just got nominated for a Juno in Canada. And if you haven't heard of 3 Days Grace, then
you're living
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm sorry for you, but they're pretty awesome too. So check out Matt Walsh with 3 Days Grace if you haven't. But yeah, so that we just at that particular moment that you mentioned, we were in our hotel room singing My Darkest Days covers for the My Darkest Days page.
I can only imagine if I was in a room next door to you and I kind of heard it, it's like, them?
I'm terrified of doing it. Dane wants to sing in the hotel all the time. We do van jams because and that's still, there's awkward moments where you're in the van, you're singing, and then you make eye contact with a lady pushing a stroller. You're like, I'm sorry, or some burly dude pulling up in a pickup, and you're like, just singing with a guitar in the parking lot of a Denny's or something. But it's all good, we do our thing. And
hey, so I know you got to play a set in a minute. Just one more thing, and I'll let you go. When I watched the performance, you did "Come Undone," and then you did some "My Darkest Days" tunes. So the folks that are going to come see "Never Say Die," do we get to hear any of the classic tunes?
Absolutely, we love playing My Darkest Days songs. We love those songs a lot, and I know that there are a lot of people out there that love My Darkest Days as much as we do. So we play those songs for them and for us as well, because we love those songs, and it's a pleasure to be able to play them again.
Well, listen, man, I appreciate the time you took with us, and I know we kept you a little longer than we needed to. So thank you so much. Proud to have you on the show. Get out there and check out the album Destroy and Rebuild, and I'm sure more Golden Dozen tunes coming off of that one soon. So, Reid, man, thanks a lot for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.